Ba-ba-da-ba, ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Look, I don't know if you guys know it, but you're out of toilet paper.
Did you say toilet paper? They used handfuls of wadded paper back in the 20th century.
I'm happy that you're happy, but the place where you're supposed to have toilet paper, you've got this little shelf with 3 seashells on it.
He doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells? I can see how that could be confusing. Well, if last week was a Thanksgiving meal, this week is the dessert. Let's get into this week's review of Demolition Man from 1993.
He's a cop from the 90s who just woke up in the 21st century.
Not many people get a second chance, John Spartan.
She's his new partner
What I wouldn't give for some action.
with all the right moves
I'm impressed.
and all the wrong phrases.
Take this job, and you can shovel it.
Close enough.
Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Demolition Man, rated R. Starts Friday, October 8th at a theater near you.
Joining me today are recurring guests Cole and Taylor. Always happy to have them on the pod. The description for this movie is a police officer is brought out of suspended animation in prison to pursue an old, ultra-violent nemesis who is loose in a non-violent future society, which takes place in 2032. Top billed stars Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, and Sandy Bullock. Hi. Directed by Marco Brambilla, an Italian director that, by the looks of it, this might have killed his career, although it should have skyrocketed, in my opinion. Runtime of 1 hour, 55 minutes, rated R. Genre on Rotten Tomatoes calls it action, sci-fi. Nice and succinct. I like it. Rotten Tomatoes. Rating from IMDb is 6.7 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 60% from the critics and 66% from the rest of us. So I had conflicting box office numbers. The first that I researched was $53 million, and I think that might have just been domestic. But total worldwide, $159 million box office haul. The film had and this is what I researched on Wikipedia. The film had a production budget of $45 million, but sources told the Los Angeles Times that the cost increased to $77 million after the shooting schedule was extended from 72 to 112 days for the first unit of principal photography, plus an additional 75 days for work done by a second unit. The combined cost of production and marketing was estimated at nearly $97 million for Demolition Man. Where you can watch this right now, it's streaming for free on Hulu if you have a subscription to that, so pop on over there. Some popcorn trivia. There's a lot of interesting things that I found out about Demolition Man. This one was interesting. In 2017, so Sly Stallone, his loan-out company, filed a lawsuit in 2017 against Warner Brothers over the disbursement of profits from the film. The lawsuit was settled in 2019. This guy is trying to get some money back from 1993. Way to go, Sly. Maybe he needed another, I don't know, whatever Sly needs to buy these days, some more HGH or whatever. Inspired by the film, Dennis Rodman had his hair dyed and styled the same way the character of Simon Phoenix, played by Snipes, for his San Antonio Spurs debut, which was the start of Rodman's dyeing his hair in different colors. Alternately, Snipes hated this hairdo and shaved it off as soon as filming had wrapped. Wesley Snipes also kicks and punches, sometimes really awkwardly in this movie, if you notice. Snipes is an accomplished black belt in real life, and his kicks and punches were so fast that they blurred on camera. Hence, the producers asked him to slow them down, and he punches all weird. Thanks, cameraman. He was punching fast. Sly Stallone has stated in interviews that the idea behind the 3 seashells was that the 2 were used like chopsticks, or to clamp together to pull waste out of the body, and the 3rd was used to scrape what was left over. No explanation was made about how they were to be cleaned or sanitized between uses. So, If you run out of toilet paper during the Rona, you can use 3 seashells, described by Mr. Stallone on how to use them. According to screenwriter Daniel Waters, the inspiration for the 3 seashells came about when he was writing a scene where Spartan had to use a restroom. He was trying to come up with futuristic things you'd find in there. He was having trouble, so he called a buddy, another screenwriter across town, asked him if he had any ideas. Ironically enough, that person was in the bathroom when he answered the phone, looked around his bathroom and said, "I have a bag of seashells on the toilet as a decoration." Waters said, "Okay, I'll make something out of that." Weird. There was an infamous deleted fight scene between Sly Stallone and Jesse Ventura. That is a travesty. So when this movie was released in Kuwait, the Arabic title was Rambo the Destroyer. Since Rambo movies were very popular, the distributor thought associating Sly Stallone to Rambo in the title would sell more tickets, and I would have to agree with them. So here's some interesting news about a sequel. So in 1993, US Magazine reported a sequel was planned for 1995. In 2006, Stallone was asked about a sequel, and he said,
I'd like to make a sequel to Demolition Man, but I believe that ship has sailed, and maybe there are more challenges waiting on the horizon.
That's my best Stallone. On May 4th, 2020, Stallone said a sequel is in development. So if you're waiting for Demolition Man 2, maybe it's coming your way. Popcorn beefs. I have no beef with this film. I repeat, I have no beef with this film. In fact, I lifted my COVID high five joke from this movie. They don't give high fives in the future for fear of spreading diseases. So they put their hands up and without touching, they like move them around in circles. Go figure. Thanks, Dirty Rona. Well, it is another episode of Popcorn Priest. We have just screened Demolition Man, 1993.
The film is classic as
It's
Lethal
art.
Weapon or Predator.
It's art, I'll not hear otherwise. It is a masterpiece of action and science fiction.
And top-notch Oscar gold acting.
Box office action superstars Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes star as a Los Angeles policeman and his ruthless nemesis in this epic action-packed adventure.
This is kind of Sandra Bullock's first big film, because this was before like Speed and Net and all this stuff. I think this was like her first big role.
Yeah, I don't know. Speed was...
What was Speed?
Speed was
95?
Speed was 95, because Speed 2 was 97, I remember.
The one on the boat.
Yeah. I watched this movie called The Net with the girl from the bus.
Yeah, the net. I like the net. That was,
I liked it.
I have never heard of the Net. Like, you referenced this earlier, and I have no idea what you're talking
You've
about.
never heard of it?
No.
It's kind of cool.
It's basically like... It's...
Is it like some 90s like vision of the internet? Or
Yeah,
it's
basically computers being...
Is it in the future, or is it like sneakers?
Mozart's Ghost!
No, it's Sandra Bullock is like a computer programmer trying to uncover conspiracy, like using computers, basically.
In the future or the present day?
If I recall, yeah. It's a good show. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, but I mean, the net is very...
I mean, it makes it sound like
it's
there's going to be like that Hackers movie from the 90s.
No. There's floppy disks around and like modem connections that last forever.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's awesome. I had, for some reason,
Never seen it.
Yeah,
skipped over this.
I don't know how that happened. This seems like a movie that would have just automatically have come to you as the type of movie that you would just be,
Yeah,
that magnetic attraction that you've seen Commando.
Yeah,
Not all those Schwarzenegger movies. I just don't know how you wouldn't see this one.
that's why it was on my list. 'cause-
Cobra, first round, or the first
Yeah, you've seen
Rambo.
Cobra too.
Yeah, I love Cobra.
Cobra, that laser sight on that Magnum that has in Cobra is the greatest gun ever in movie history.
But yeah, I missed this for some reason, and I'm glad that we've cut up.
Didn't we do that movie? I swear somebody picked the movie where Sylvester Stallone's in jail and what's his name? Donald Sutherland's like the evil warden.
Oh, Escape Plan.
No, not Escape Plan. This was like from the 70s or the 80s.
Oh, Lockup.
It's a really...
Lockup.
It's an
I
older
have not
show.
seen that.
No,
okay.
we haven't done
I
that
thought we'd
in
done
our
that.
screenings, but that's an awesome
That's a good show.
movie.
That's actually really good. Donald Sutherland's really good in that.
Oh, man.
But
Lockup.
in any case,
Muy bueno.
Christopher goes first on Demolition Man. This is his first experience.
Yeah, it'll be fresh eyes.
It's crazy upon crazy upon crazy. I can't believe... I mean, I can believe that this was made, but it's...
The tone of it's weird.
so crazy.
It's a weird tone.
I can't say anything but crazy. It's just gnarly.
I just keep trying to figure out the budget they spent because like the sets and like
Yeah,
the
it's all
costumes,
live action.
like everything they like the vehicles, like everything
in camera.
had to be as a new design. It makes me wonder how much they spent on it.
Even the building that got demolished, no pun intended, like...
That was at least a nice, largely sized model at the very least.
At the very least,
Did you
it's
say
not
that
a...
tip's broken off? Would you say that tip's broken off, or do you think it's is designed to be that way?
It looks like they've sharpened it.
We're
so
examining
I'd
a
say
knife
it's designed.
currently.
It looks like it has like a...
It looked like it was busted, and then they kind of sharpened it. To
maybe.
it.
We're examining... Cold
Sorry, no.
This plays great on audio.
Sorry, it's
Look at that. Yeah, man, I don't even know what's going on.
my thing's pocket knives, and so sorry. That's I bought one today.
Yeah, I mean, I like...
I was gonna say it's
Don't touch
no.
it.
I was just gonna say it was closer to me than the rest.
I
of
know,
you.
I want it because your voice, for some reason,
It's because I mumble. I don't have
it
that.
doesn't
I
pick
don't
up
have
very well.
I don't have range.
Yeah,
Me and Taylor...
I don't have the vocal frequency range that you.
I have a
folks
voice
have.
for radio. I've been told this.
Taylor and I are very I don't know, our tonal hertz level.
Just resonate.
You're-
Perfect. Resonates with the atmosphere.
You're quieter, but you're clearer. But I mumble is my thing, and so
That's why I'm putting
it's hard,
it closer to
It's
you.
hard to understand what I
Because
say.
I'm looking at the levels right now, and I'm right in the middle, and you're kind of
And I'm
low ends.
only about a third of the way hitting across the board.
Anyway, man, it's awesome.
It feels like it came out in the wrong decade, though. Like when you say that this is 93, you're like, really?
Yeah,
It really feels like it should have been
86.
2000.
It feels like an 80s movie. It feels like it would have came out the same year as RoboCop.
Exactly.
But except for it's a bit cleaner and the effects are better. But
Oh, and they had a much bigger budget. You could tell. Than
Yeah.
RoboCop.
Tons of money was spent on this film.
they made that budget work for him in RoboCop. Anyway.
We saw the name of Jack Black. We're not sure if it's...
He was
gotta be-
just an extra.
Yeah, it's got a pretty big cast too. Like it's got a lot
this-
of character actors from the
Yeah,
early
no,
90s too.
it
Little
makes-
Morton from Shawshank Redemption's in it.
Yeah.
It makes sense because the early 90s was when Tenacious D started back on HBO. It was like a sketch show that
Yeah.
so it would make sense Warner
He
Brothers
would
made this
have
movie.
been looking
What
for...
was that movie he was in that he got his arm blown off?
Oh, that was the Jackal.
The
When-
Jack.
That's when Bruce Willis makes him hold out that pack of cigarettes because he knows that the aiming's off on that machine
He
gun.
shoots his arm
And it
off.
blows
Not
his arm
seen
off.
that movie. That sounds good.
It's
You haven't
crazy.
seen a Jackal?
No.
Oh, it is so good. It's Richard Gere and Bruce Willis like racing against each other because Bruce Willis is this assassin assigned to take out this target. It's based on the Day of the Jackal, basically.
Yeah, the
But
terrorist guy.
it's a really good movie. Richard Gere does a horrible Irish accent, but it's a good show.
Yeah, I give it... Ironically, this is perfect. How the rating on here... I don't know where we'll watch how we streamed this, but this is
Oh, this was through Microsoft Play Store.
Microsoft Play Store. Yeah, it's Microsoft giving it a 4 and a... What a
There's
four and an eighth star.
There was a 61% on Rotten Tomatoes, which means technically,
It's like
it
if you
was
adjust it for
certified fresh.
inflation, it's practically 100 by today's standards.
I'd say adjusted for inflation, you just flip that 6 to a 9, you got a 91%.
Turn that frown upside down.
Exactly, and you got yourself a real crowd pleaser.
It's got like a satirical tone to it, which is weird too. Because like on paper,
A little bit like RoboCop or like
it's
Super Troopers.
I think it's less severe than
Less-
RoboCop.
yeah.
Well, I don't know if you can live super.
It's kind of like Idiocracy is what it reminds me of, but not as crazy as that either.
Not as
but
crazy.
If
But
you were
it's
to combine Idiocracy and RoboCop, this is
it's
exactly
kind of
what you
that's
would
kind of
get.
what this is.
Because of how dumb kind of people are, because society is so dumb.
So yeah, it's like
nobody knows how to be violent.
I mean, you don't
anymore.
want to take it too seriously because the movie doesn't stand up
It's-
under that scrutiny.
Yeah,
But they play it straight, which is like the jingles on the radio.
They play it straight until Sandra Bullock has to be the comic relief and show up to spout her misinterpreted one-liners.
incorrect lines and
Yeah.
I like the fake modern slang that they invent for the future.
Yeah, that's
And the ticketing machines for foul language are the best. Whoever came up with that idea in the script is
Yeah.
awesome.
and they stuck to their guns on that, man.
Yeah, they kept doing it. Like it
kept
wasn't just
doing
like a throwaway gag. It was a consistent one throughout the whole movie.
Well, what do you guys? I know you guys have seen it.
My rating still stands at 3.5 out of 4, even though I've seen it about 3 or 4 times. It's enjoyable every time. I always confuse Dennis Hopper and Wesley Snipes. Dennis Rodman and Wesley Snipes for some reason, even though they're both nuts.
He's kind of got a Dennis Rodman thing going in this movie.
It's the hair.
The wild
That's what throws
hair
me
and
off.
like the crazy clothes.
But it's just, I mean, the acting.
He doesn't have the piercing, but
Yeah.
like the high strung, like all energetic, characterization.
It's literally just a whole bunch of ingredients thrown into a pot, and it's so crazy that it
there's
keeps
a
you
lot
interested.
in the movie. It's
Till
like
the
it's
end.
hard to be bored.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's not a good action movie. I mean, I don't really see that much.
By the way, listeners, Cole is completely upside down on the couch with his legs sprawled out.
So if you hear the words in reverse, that's why.
My back is sore, and this is actually helping it being sort of.
I don't care. It's just very comical.
You play it back, and it's going to sound like a.
If you play it backwards, it's a country album. It's a recipe for lentil soup.
All right, Taylor.
I give it 1,000 stars. It's something. It works on paper if you just describe it, like the basic premise of like a convict criminal in the future.
That's the thing.
But it doesn't play out that way.
That's
not the way you'd think. It's not all gritty and serious like you would expect.
What amazes me is that it got past paper, because reading that to a bunch of
too high
executives,
concept.
they had to have been scratching their heads, being like, "What?"
And it's
in the
funny
hell
that they
am I
made it a
reading?
dumb action movie too, because like you can imagine someone being like super serious about this and being like, "No, it needs to be this gritty HBO drama. It's going to be 3 seasons."
But at the same time, though, it makes sense because this is the era of Die Hard. This is Lethal Weapon. This is Predator. So I mean,
you have to have that comedy element in there to make it marketable.
Predator wasn't funny.
Oh no, I just mean in terms of like crazy action,
yeah.
setups.
But Lethal Weapon is, and so is Die Hard to an extent. And it's fun. This is as funny as those. It's got that satirical
like
edge
Last Boy
to
Scout
it.
kind of thing.
Yeah, but anyway, 1,000 stars.
1,000 stars, 3.5 out of 4 stars, and then Microsoft gives it 4 and an 8 star. I give it a golden bucket. I mean, only because of the mere fact that this is just
exists, and it's so weird.
And
It's got like
you
this
just have to
Taco
see
Bell's,
it.
the restaurant of the future.
There's no way you can explain it. Like you actually have to watch it to understand.
It is very weird that it's made. Like even like watching it now, you're like, really? This like big budget movie came through
crazy.
Like
I bet
with all the weird stuff in it. Like that's what's weird about it.
I bet you they must have just been sweating like mad until they saw the finished product and like actually kind of saw it like sort of come together.
Because
like filming that must have been.
If this
like
existed as like some low budget kind of bad like thing that like the effects were all underdone and stuff, and none of the stars were big, I would believe it.
Yeah, but
they have like all these huge stars in it, and
then they have weird cameos like Rob Schneider that just appears out of nowhere.
Right,
as a
Rob
disc jockey.
Schneider. Yeah. Anyway, any parting thoughts?
see if you haven't. It's like Back to the Future 2.
See it,
but an action movie.
That's true.
It's crazy watching it because everybody has just aged like they've been left out in the sun, except for Sandra Bullock, who looks almost the exact same.
Oh, I don't know. She may have had some work done.
Well, after watching,
keep getting work in Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, she's had some work done, but after comparing it to Ocean's 8,
her face looks different in Ocean's 8 than the previous films.
You don't understand the pressures of Hollywood.
But
I don't.
But compared to how much worse it could have been, considering this was 24 years ago, she has aged actually pretty gracefully.
Yeah, she's great.
Whereas if you were to look at Sylvester Stallone,
Sylvester Stallone's kind of like a hamburger man now.
With many veins.
He's a steak left out in the sun. Way too long.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like him and like Expendables. And,
man.
You're just like, oh man, this guy's too old. Yeah. He uses HGH.
Yeah.
Which
is fine. I support him.
Him and Dolph Lundgren and Mickey Rourke look like zombies that are just
I want all of them to continue to use drugs, continue to get big until they're like 90. I want them always to make movies until I'm old. That's what I want. With that being said, Stallone, keep doing it. You're doing great.
He's got some movie with 50 Cent coming out, but I don't know what the heck it is.
They're doing a Creed 2. I think he's in it.
He's in it.
What's his name? Both of them are in it.
They're going to do another Rambo as well.
Are they really?
I support it wholeheartedly.
Creed 2 is Creed fighting Drago's son.
Yeah, no, I like the premise of that. It's so also kind of crazy, but I'm okay with it.
They're doing another Rambo.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Yeah,
I haven't heard anything, but I hope they do it.
Yes, it's going to be great.
As long as they finish with Die Hards, I'm fine. Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Die Hard 5 was not okay.
Bruce Willis.
Die Hard 5 was not
ghost.
good.
It should have not.
But then even Death Wish was just Die Hard without him having a badge, and it was just bad.
I liked it. Sorry,
I did not see it.
I just can't get over this late 50s guy being able to beat up all these punks in New York City.
Bruce Willis phones it in a lot more than. It's like Stallone still wants to make movies happen.
Yeah, he's committed. Stallone's committed.
Yeah, it's true. Bruce Willis always just acts like he's annoyed. Like,
it's
like get the shooting over with.
Red, in my mind, is like the perfect example of modern Bruce Willis. It's just kind of him being like, Red. He was like a retired spy. He was just kind of an old guy.
No, he gave it.
The second one,
he didn't give a crap. Everyone phoned it in on the second one except for Helen Mirren and that Chinese dude.
That's true. Helen Mirren did a great job.
And John Malkovich.
Malkovich.
Yeah, that was good.
Malkovich. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Should or shouldn't you watch this? 5 reasons why you should watch this movie. Number 1, if you like 80s action movies. I know this was released in 93, but it has that 80s vibe to it. Number 2, if you like Sly Stallone or Wesley Snipes, then this is for sure for you. Number 3, if you want to see a satirical look at what they thought in 1993 the future would be like, this is for you. Number 4, if you want to shut your brain off and just have a great time, and it's free right now on Hulu, this is for you. And last but not least, if you want to see one of the weirdest sex scenes that I can remember, this is for you. As always, hit me up on the Twitters if you want to interact with the great Popcorn Priest at Popcorn Priest. I respond to every tweet. And next week we were going to release You Were Never Really Here from 2017, but I was trying to decide if I wanted to release a newer recording instead of one of our older ones. So send me a tweet if you want me to release a new one or an old one, and help me decide. It will be our 40th episode, so I want to do something cool. Anyway, thanks for listening as always, and we'll see you next week on Should You Watch This?